so let's hold the jib and go into a heave to.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. It'll keep us out of beam of the wind. You can actually shoot that in a bit, ski, and cleat it off. And let's get ready to ease that main all the way out, Jeff. So there's a couple of ways you can put a reef in while you're under sail, guys. We can just sail along under jib power with the jib trimmed correctly. Or alternatively, we can heave to. And heaving to is having that jib on the weather side of the boat, wind about on the beam, and the main all the way out. A great way to end up with the jib on the weather or the wrong side of the boat is to just tack without letting the jib go. So I'm going to have you come down just maybe 10 degrees or so here, Christy. Breeze a little bit on a close reach or a beam reach angle. Let's let that mainsail all the way out. And I'm going to give the boom a push. So the heave to position, once again, is jib on the weather side, main all the way out. And eventually, when the boat speed slows down, we'll turn the tiller all the way, move the wheel all the way to the right, which would be the same as pushing the tiller all the way to leeward.
Should I do that now?
Yeah, go ahead and slowly turn the boat to the right. So it's jib on the weather side, or the wrong side, main all the way out, wind on the beam, and helm turn so you're turning to the right. If we've still got boat speed when we turn the helm that way, the boat may actually end up tacking.
Okay.
So that's why we wait a little while until the boat speed goes down to close to zero before we position the helm. Okay, great. So as long as we don't have so much boat speed that moving the wheel that way makes us tack, we'll stay in this hove to position. You guys done this heave to before?
Uh-huh.
And what's actually happening when you're hove to? How is it that you're able to stay in this beam on wind position?
Well, the wind's pushing our jib. The wind's pushing the jib in the bow fluid.
Yeah.
But you counter steer when
The jib is backed to windward, right. So the wind pushes the bow to leeward, to the left here. And eventually what happens as the boat turns away from the wind and the wind comes from behind, what sail fills? The main starts to fill at a certain point. And then that main, filling with wind, since the sail in the back of the boat, shoves the stern to leeward and the bow back up to windward.
So why are we turning
just sort
to port?
of rock right and left a little bit.
the wind is pushing the back of the wheel.
So eventually, Christy, when that main fills, that sail will take over and shove the stern of the boat to leeward, and the boat will start turning right again.
So we're just going to zigzag?
Yeah.
Now, I thought when we heave to, it actually stops.
You've got to experiment a little bit with each, with every boat that you're on.
Okay.
You've got to adjust the sails a little bit. Right now, we're still waiting for that main to take over. Still turning left, but our left turn is slowed down a little bit.
Okay.
So it's shoving our stern this way, and we're turning closer to the wind. And Jeff, as we turn closer to the wind, what's going to happen to that main eventually?
It's going to fall flat.
It's going to start to luff, right? And then what's the only sail that's going to be working once the main starts to be luff?
The back jib.
The back jib. And which way is that going to push the bow? Back to leeward. So that's going to be our swing to leeward, then the main will take over, shove the stern to leeward, and bow up to the windward side. And we just sort of rock like that. And we've reduced our boat speed, so we're not going forward much at all. And we're sort of sliding to leeward at an angle about 30 degrees off to leeward of our bow. They call that forward. And it's a great position to be in to put a reef in the main, because most of the time there's no wind filling the main, and that's what you want when you're lowering that main down. If it's full of wind, it's tough to lower it down. So what do you guys think is the first step now for putting a reef in the mainsail?
Vang is clear, so now we just
So vang, how does the vang need to be set?
well, it's loose.
Needs to be loose. Yeah, excellent.
And now we just lower the main. While if we're taking, one reef or two reefs. You know, if you're taking the one reef,
You know what? The main halyard out a little.
We'll
Right.
the main halyard down, and we'll actually bring this new tack ring right here
right.
down to the tack hook. Now, as we drop that mainsail, though, what could happen?
One of the reef lines can get caught.
A reef line might get caught, but what's also going to be dropping down? The boom, right?
Boom, right.
So we've got a couple things on this boat that prevent the boom from just dropping and dipping into the water. One, we've got a solid vang, right? That holds the boom up. What else holds the boom up?
Top line.
Yeah, the topping lift.
Top
So I might just take a little slack out of the topping lift to prevent that boom from sagging down so much that it hits the lifeline. But I bet you this solid vang is going to do the trick also. So there's a little bit of a tighten up on the topping lift. So Jeff, why wouldn't we tighten the reefing clue line first? Why would that be bad when we're putting a reef in?
Oh.
What would actually happen as we tightened that reefing clue line is we'd be pulling the sail aft, and it would be tough to get that tack ring into the tack hook. So the rule is when you're putting a reef in, you do the front of the sail first, and then the reefing clue line. So halyard's going to have to come down, that clue ring in the tack hook, and then what happens with the halyard, you guys, after you've got it in the hook?
Tighten it back up.
Tighten it back up.
Tighten it back up so that ring doesn't just fall right back out.
And can you put it in the wrong way?
All good on traffic? Kristen?
You can
Yes.
put the hook in the wrong way, right?
You definitely can, so we'll get a close-up on that. Ski, you want to come on board and help me with this? Yep. So let us know when you're ready on lowering the halyard, Jeff. Ready? Okay. As you lower it, we're going to pull it down. Yep. And these rings actually make it pretty difficult to put the new tack on the hook the wrong way. All I got to do is get this ring into the tack hook a little bit farther down on the halyard. There we go. See how it's tough to get this ring forward enough to get it into the hook? If the reefing clue line was already tight, it would be pulling the sail back aft even more, and it would be really tough to get it in. It's not easy as it stands. Okay, reefing tack is in. You can tighten up your main halyard. Get tension on the luff and keep that tack hook in there. You're going to have to go ahead and grind it.
Yeah.
How are we looking on traffic, Christy?
We're
All
okay.
good? How about on our starboard side?
That's not our starboard side.
You're okay. That side.
That's where I'm looking.
Excellent. Good. Luff tension looks good. Good. Luff tension on the main is good, and definitely enough to keep that reefing tack in. So what's the next step, Jeff?
Coming on the reef loop.
Yeah. And which is the first reef? Which color line?
Reef 1 is white and yellow.
Excellent. Go ahead and get a shot of the clue, Pam, of the main. So Jeff's just doing it almost by hand there, tightening the reefing clue line. And we want that as tight as possible, so from there I'd go ahead and grind it some. Let's call that good. Is the stopper closed? Excellent. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and now get us under sail again with the reefed main and moving the jib to the other side. You guys have got the rope.
You ready? On the jig line?
Yep.
Alright, start bearing the wind when you're ready.
We'll stay on this same point of sail and just flop the jib over to the other
Okay,
side.
you ready?
Ready.
here's the snags right here on the weather sheet.
Straighten it out.
And then Ski, why don't you go ahead and bring that main in. And Christy, you can go ahead and bring us up to close hauled as that main comes in.
Glad that we reefed it. It's really picking up.
Yeah, we really
No, that was good practice. There goes our ship.
Let's bring that main all the way into close haul. Looking good. So there's our first reef in the main.
You still want the motor on?
Turn it off?
Yeah.
You reef in light wind, right?
Heavy.
Or heavy wind? Okay, see?
Because you minimize the amount of sail surface area so that you have better control of the boat.
So we were just imagining that we were in heavy wind.
Out. And then what are the steps for shaking the reef out?
Same thing, like undo the bang, just reverse process. Undo the, loosen the reef line, the alcohol.
Yeah, the reefing clue line goes first when you're shaking the reef out, and then the tack.
And then the tack, and then you tighten the
And stupid question, but what's going to have to happen so we can get that reefing tack ring out of the tack hook?
well, we have to lower it just a little bit.
I got to lower it a little bit, and then the halyard will go back up. So for this one, Christy, let's just keep sailing under jib power. Let the main all the way out to luff it that way instead of heaving to. Once that main gets let go completely, only your front sail's going to be working, so the bow's going to get dragged to port. You're going to have to adjust your steering accordingly. So double checking, we've got a solid vang and a pretty tight topping lift that's going to support our boom up in the air while we're adjusting the halyard. Next thing is going to be that reefing clue line off. And Chris, or Ski, what I want you to do on that one is get a bunch of wraps on the drum with the reefing clue line.
Check.
And get it in the self-tailer.
Yep.
The stopper is closed, is that right?
That is correct.
So since we had to let that reefing clue line off and put it on the stopper in order to be able to use that drum for the main sheet, there's a lot of tension on that reefing clue line in the stopper, and you probably wouldn't be able to just open the stopper. So go ahead and crank that reefing clue line on just a little bit tighter with the handle.
Okay.
Maybe try one more crank. And that ought to allow you to open that stopper easily.
Okay.
Does it open up pretty easily now?
Yep.
Excellent. So now you can take your handle out and ease that reefing clue line off.
So you just tightened the reefing clue line?
I tightened the reefing clue line not because I wanted that line tighter in particular, but because I wanted to take the tension off the mechanism inside the stopper so I could open the stopper. Once we took
But it
that,
wasn't to tighten the sail or
No.
anything. Got it. Okay.
So reefing clue line's completely loose?
Yes.
It's still tight on the boom, so let's feed that out a little bit. There you go. I'm pulling some slack here too.
Okay.
So next step, Chuck?
I'm gonna.
Okay. We're ready up forward. Main
right.
halyard's getting loosened. And ring is out. You can go all the way up in the main halyard.
Check.
You want to watch and make sure that reefing clue line is not restricted at all and it's allowing the main leaf to go up. How's traffic below our sails, Pam?
Good.
Main's going up nicely here, Ski. Main is still eased out and luffing for this. This is really where it needs to be luffing so that main halyard will go back up. A little bit tighter on the main halyard. Let's try that. That looks good. Alright. And now I think we're ready to sail with the full main.
All stations. This is United States Coast Guard, Section Puget Sound. Coast Guard, Section Puget Sound. Coast Guard, Section Puget Sound.
Nice. Now we're back to full sail power. Great job, everybody.
Ooh, and we're actually sailing.
Got some a little bit of heel, huh?
No offense to that.
So Jeff, if we want to sail close haul, bring the main in tight, right?
Uh-huh.
We've got it in pretty tight.
Yeah.
That last bit of main sheet tension that you want to put on the main actually pulls the boom down, doesn't it?
Right.
So what can restrict that boom from being pulled down to tighten the leaf of the main now?
Boom bang? Topping one?
Topping lift. So I'm going to loosen that topping lift, or else you won't be able to tighten the main as much as you want to be able to for close haul sailing. Going to ease it off just as much as you did this morning, about 1.5 feet or so.
Cool.
Now let's go close hauled and bring that boom in all the way tight. There you go. So that last bit of main sheet trim is actually pulling the boom down as it closes in. And you're getting leech tension, and that gets you good power. Steve, can you bring that jib into close haul? Alright. Keep going, bring her on in. Go ahead and come down a little bit, Steve, or Christy. I'd say a couple more cranks. I call that close haul.
Okay.
Clues just touching the shroud. There you go, nice. So Jeff, I'm looking at this main. Now that we've got some pretty decent wind, I would say that's too much.
Okay, I can't
You should
see
get
it.
down here.
Okay, I'm just telling you.
All right, and you want to look up at that part of the jib right there. So when you're ready here, Christy, we'll tack. You guys got that other side of the boat to the jib.
Ready to tack?
Ready port side.
Tacking.
So I'm going to hold that jib release until it's really started to backwind and wants to cross over to the other side. Starting to luff. Starting to backwinding now.
And I'm understeering because I'm trying to avoid this piece of log. Sorry.
Go ahead and bring her on down this.
Oh. Okay.
All right. So get your perfect close hauled course when you can, and then we'll do another one.
This will warm us up.
Bang! Right about there when that foot touches that upper or the outboard shroud. That seems about right for close haul.
Oh, Tony just finished.
Yahoo!
So, Christy, this next tack, we're going to do a little bit more of a racing turn on the tack.
Okay.
You definitely want to get your target
Okay.
on your other 45-degree angle, which is going to be directly off your beam over here, right?
Right.
That's approximately where you're going to stop your turn. The first half of the turn, from 45 degrees up to 0, it's a pretty slow turn. And during that time, you're turning slowly because the boat's still got good boat speed. And the slower you turn, the more your momentum allows you to shoot up into the wind.
Okay.
The second half of the turn, from 0 to 45, that's when the boat speed is really starting to go away. So your priority then is get the boat on the new 45-degree angle, fill the sails, and fill the power. So the turn is slow, a little bit faster in the center now. And you'll find that that causes the jib to go to the other side pretty nicely. Ski, you want to do the starboard side release for the stack?
And do tighten up some lines.
This ends up here. That's supposed to stow this more over there. You don't have to put a top in.
So I was
Come
gonna,
up a little bit closer to the wind here.
cause I was gonna have it on it so like I can start pulling and then transfer right into the grinder.
So on the new sheet, the initial pull-in is those really fast pulls, right? And for that, you want to have as few wraps as possible. Because the drum is going to spin faster. But you're going to avoid overrides. And it's going to be easier to pull faster when it's just one or two wraps. And then when that tension takes up, that's when you want to go wrap or even two and have your grinder put the handle into the grind. So Jeff, actually, why don't you be ready with the handle on this side?
Oh, so there are two people actually doing it.
Yeah.
There's a grinder.
Ideally, yeah, if we're racing.
On the outside?
Yeah, you can go on the outside and stand by the rail. So my goal here is to wait to start pulling so I don't pull so early that I'm backwinding the sail and slowing us down.
Right.
But then when it's time to pull like mad, right? It's one of those things where it's like, not yet.
Tacking.
A little bit faster there. Good speed for the first pass. Now to tack a little bit faster. Release. Wrap, and grind. Boom, you can stop. But you can see there with that perfect release, the perfect pull in, we're basically done. We didn't have to grind at all. So we're going to do another one now, give you a chance to practice the tailing, and Jeff will grind for you on that side.
That's pretty good.
Go ahead and bring that bow down a little bit.
We're trying.
Nice job. How we doing on wind? Big header. I'm letting that jib go in that massive header because what could happen if I didn't? When it backed massively like that. You could auto tack us, right? Now that Christy's brought the bow down, I'm going to trim back in. Oh, let's see. Is there any better breeze around here? This is about as good as it gets. Main looks good. So how late did you hold that release? Seems like you held it pretty late.
Yeah.
But the longer you held it, the more that it more quickly it whacked over to the other side. Now the downside of that, if you hold it too long, you A, stop the boat a little bit, and B, you can cause the bow to over-rotate. So it's exactly like we said. It's like, not yet, not yet, not yet. You know, now. Okay, a little bit of header there, Christy. Wind's really shifting. There is the jib almost starting to back. I'm going to let it go so we don't auto tack while you bring the bow down.
Yeah, the wind's actually picking up.
Yeah, it's getting better.
There's no flat spots anymore. It's all...
So I think I started with one wrap, and boy, that allowed me to spin this drum really fast.
Yeah, just like so?
Yeah. Now, in stronger wind than this, one wrap just isn't going to be enough. You won't be able to hold it in when the tension comes on. Bring the bow down a little bit more here, Christy. We're going to try to build some really good boat speed for this next tack. That looks good right there. So how'd that turn feel to you in terms of the boat kind of snapping onto the new tack and you increased your speed in the second half? Pretty good?
Good, except I didn't go far enough.
And that's why you're getting
that's why
a gauge.
I looked at the land to see where the 45 degrees was, and it was not accurate.
Right. But
It's a
now
little
that
shifted.
most people do in recreational sailing. Okay, you ready?
Ready to tack?
Ready here.
Tacking.
A little bit faster than that on the first half. You got a little bit of a lift before you started turning, so you're going to have to turn a little bit farther than you are. Front of the jib is luffing, front of the jib is caving in, jib's back in release. And you don't need to grind that at all. It's done. You might grind it an inch or so at final trim, but you're basically done without any grinding. So we'll continue to build speed here, and we'll do another one. Jeff, do you want to do? We should try to do a tail and a release, and then Christy, you'll jump in and do a kind of screaming ass. Those arms at the top of the mast are slightly off, so they're not that good of a gauge. Looks to me like you could come up with a cruise.
The what did you say at the top of the mast?
As you're turning, figure out which way you need to turn, and then get your eyes back forward. Turn a little bit in the direction you decided, stop, and then
People say it's so much right now. Too much.
too much.
Yep.
You're perfect right there. Maybe up a little bit to the left. So Jeff, you're doing the tail, and Ski, you're doing the grind. Yep. On your call, Christy.
Ready to tack?
Ready. Holding release, luffing, not a big lift during that turn. Here we go. Backing and release.
So I'm gonna need to
It's
take
lit.
more. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Needs more wraps.
if the handle
In the way.
is going to stay in during the wraps, you can do it that way, but the grinder's got to move the handle so it's pointing right towards you, right? Because then you have some ability to get around the outside of the drum.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ideally, it would stay out until you've got all the wraps you need. So you guys want to have a plan. You'd say, I'm going to need 2 wraps after the tail. And so he'd get his 2 and you'd go handle in.
Hey, Crew, that's a nice job because look at the wind we got. We're healing.
I know, it's
For the
pretty
first
nice.
time
Because I'm
today.
sitting on the sack.
It's all your weight, huh?
Yeah.
So you'll make a plan about how many wraps you're going to take. Now, if you decide you need another
You
wrap,
and
the
me
handle's
together.
already in, you can go handle out or turn it and point it towards him.
Okay.
But if it's away from him, he'll never get around it without the line slipping out. Okay, so let's do another one. Of course, you got to be able to